Chosen one, listen. In order to stop you, the devil himself has gathered his army and tied your chains with the strongest locks, because they have seen you, they have recognized your light, and they fear your potential. You are no ordinary person. That is why they are so organized to fight you. These dark forces rising against you carry a message. You are powerful. You are special. Everyone who stands in your way serves your greatness. These difficulties, these pressures, these traps, all of them are meant to lift you up even higher. Because the devil only targets those who have potential, only frightens those who can change the future. They are trying to silence you because your voice will create waves. They try to isolate you because your light will disperse their darkness. But remember, chosen one, you are not alone in this battle. Every chain exists to be broken by your perseverance. Every obstacle is placed to show your greatness. Rise now and remember your strength. This storm is a beacon that lights the way to your future. Fear will be replaced by courage. Darkness will be replaced by light. Write 77 in the comments and take the first step towards your destiny, because your destiny is not ordinary. Your destiny is to shape history. Come on, now is the time. They assumed they could silence your truth under a weight of deceit, steer the tides of perception in their favor, and mold you into their narrative of convenience. Yet their attempts were nothing more than echoes of insecurity, unable to dim the radiance of a soul that defies their expectations. What they couldn't fathom, they tried to conquer, unaware that their schemes only underscored your unyielding essence. You are the untamed force they can't tether, the rising tide they can't hold back, and the mirror reflecting all they fear to confront. Their actions were never accidental. Every move was a deliberate attempt to tighten their grip on the dynamics of control. Your victories were dissected, your struggles magnified, not out of interest or empathy, but to craft a narrative where they reigned as the ultimate architects. Their intentions were veiled in politeness, but every word was calibrated to influence, every interaction a step in their calculated ascent. Their game was subtle manipulation, dressed in the garb of camaraderie, exploiting the vulnerabilities of those around them to serve their agenda. Your presence disrupts their fabrications like a spark igniting the truth. They started small, seeding doubt with innocent-sounding remarks that carried the weight of implication. Isn't it strange how they've been lately? Seemed like casual curiosity, but acted as a slow-acting toxin, designed to erode confidence and reshape perception. Their whispers grew into a storm of innuendos, reshaping the way others viewed you, aiming to leave you isolated, misunderstood, and doubted. They orchestrated their strategy with care, rallying others into unwitting accomplices. They leaned on shared trust to manipulate, weaponizing every vulnerability shared in good faith. What seemed like casual conversations were traps, designed to extract information to be twisted and reused. Every interaction became part of their arsenal, as they combed through your life for fragments they could distort. They mistook their cunning for control, believing they could unweave your essence and claim it for themselves. Yet, in their obsession, they only revealed their own fragility. They sought to emulate your strength, but could only highlight their emptiness. Every step they took to undermine you laid bare their desperation, a futile attempt to claim what they could never truly understand. Your resilience is not something that can be captured or replicated. It is an enduring flame they will never possess, no matter how much they scheme or how far they reach. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the Super Thank You button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. Balance operates with relentless precision, an unfaltering equilibrium that cannot be undermined. Each choice ripples outward, and their relentless plotting was no exception. As their fabrications grew bolder, the web they wove began to unravel under the weight of its contradictions. The more they pushed their falsehoods, the more their intent became visible. What they underestimated was the sharp clarity that emerges when illusions fail. Those who once believed their carefully spun tales began to piece together the fractures, their calculated malice no longer hidden behind veils of pretense. They didn't foresee the inevitability of their downfall. Manipulation, after all, has a way of collapsing back on itself. The dynamic they sought to control began to shift, not with force, but with the quiet power of recognition. Those once swayed by their narratives started seeing the patterns of control and destruction. Their once loyal audience turned skeptical, observing the cracks in their facade. Without needing to lift a finger, the truth took root, and the very chaos they had intended for others became their burden. Their influence waned, their web untangled, and the toxicity they sowed isolated them instead. The stage they tried to command became their trap, a poetic reminder of the balance they tried to disrupt. The energy they poured into pulling others down only returned to confront them in ways they never anticipated. Transformation is a force that cannot be ignored, and the moment it begins, it reshapes everything in its path. Rising beyond their expectations, you became an enigma they couldn't decipher. Your growth unsettled their stagnant comfort, not because of what you achieved, but because of the energy you now carried. Alive, unrestrained, and undeniable. Their unease was palpable in the lingering glances, the hurried whispers, and the sudden discomfort that colored their demeanor. At first, the signs seemed minor, but they revealed a deeper truth. The very essence of who you had become exposed the limitations of their understanding. Your presence illuminated what they chose to hide from themselves. Their discomfort became your silent power, turning their restlessness into a testament to your evolution. They tried to reduce your transformation to ambition or arrogance, avoiding the reflection you cast upon their own untapped potential. It wasn't about you. It was about the light you shone on their complacency. Growth is disruptive by nature, and your existence brought contrast to their illusions. You didn't need to confront them. Your journey alone was enough. The reactions you elicited were a mirror to their insecurities, a reminder of the courage they lacked but longed for. In your radiance, they found the truth they refused to face. Outgrowing the limitations they placed on you, you revealed the boundaries of their own imagination. They studied you not out of admiration, but desperation, grasping at the vitality you exuded, the authenticity they could not replicate. Their efforts to mirror your success felt hollow, devoid of the depth you carried. They wanted the triumph without the trials, the glory without the resilience. But authenticity cannot be feigned, and their attempts only highlighted their superficiality. What you created came from a place they couldn't reach, forged through experiences they couldn't endure. Their mimicry was no match for the genuine essence you embodied. Every step they took to shadow your path only underscored the vast difference between what is earned and what is imitated. In their pursuit, they revealed the truth they could not suppress. Your strength is unassailable because it is real. Their actions speak louder than their intentions, watching, mimicking, attempting to mold themselves into reflections of what they perceive in you. Yet for all their efforts, they miss the essential truth. What you possess cannot be duplicated. The energy they so desperately try to emulate is not something borrowed. It's something cultivated, honed through trials and triumphs. Their grand gestures and imitations only emphasize their distance from the authenticity they chase. What you carry isn't a surface veneer, but a deep-rooted force, built in moments of perseverance and clarity, and no amount of posturing can bridge the chasm between their mimicry and your reality. You never needed to raise a hand to counter their moves. The quiet power of your existence disrupted their game entirely. While they wove plans to unseat you, they only entangled themselves in their web of contradictions. Those who once fell for their facade began to notice the cracks, the inconsistencies, the lack of depth in their words. As their circle of influence shrank, your resonance grew, unforced and natural, a testament to the strength that comes from being unyieldingly true to yourself. Their tactics to isolate you failed to break you. Instead, they became the foundation of your transformation. Where they sought to create distance, you found clarity. The silence they left in their wake became fertile ground for your growth, free from the noise of their schemes. The absence of insincerity revealed the strength in your solitude. This wasn't a retreat, it was a recalibration, a moment where you reclaimed your essence and fortified your spirit. They had intended to weaken you, yet every attempt only refined your resolve, leaving you more unshaken than ever before. Their attempts to manipulate perception backfired spectacularly, illuminating the truth for all to see. As their narratives unraveled, they were left exposed, their borrowed identities collapsing under the weight of their own efforts. What they misunderstood was that authenticity cannot be fabricated. It must be lived. Your path, carved with intention and resilience, remains beyond their reach because it was never about mimicry, but about transformation. In trying to claim your light, they only highlighted the brilliance of what they could never touch. Their shallow efforts faltered, while your unwavering presence stood as a beacon, unbroken and untouchable. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporal concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. What begins as whispers often transforms into something far more calculated, an intentional effort to undermine. This is no innocent exchange of words. It's a deliberate strategy of dismantling. The words they spread are not harmless. They are chosen to disrupt, carefully designed to undermine your essence. Their aim is clear: to shake the foundation of trust around you, distort the way others perceive your strength, and sever connections that give you balance. Every statement they utter, every seed of doubt they plant, is a weapon wielded with precision, intended to leave you isolated and weakened. Their tactics are rooted in something deeper than animosity. Their actions are not driven by strength, but by insecurity. Their greatest fear lies in what you represent: freedom, authenticity, and an unwillingness to conform. To them, your ability to rise without their validation is a threat, a reminder of what they lack. Those they pull into their schemes are not allies, but instruments manipulated under the guise of shared interests. What they truly fear is not your fall, but the illumination you bring, exposing the fragility of the world they've built. Imagine a tree planted by the river, its roots stretching deep into the earth, unshaken by drought or storm. The winds may howl and the waters may rise, but that tree stands firm because its strength comes from its connection to what is eternal. That's who you are, rooted, grounded, and unmovable in the truth of who God created you to be. No matter how fierce the storm or how loud the accusations, your foundation is unshakable because it's built on something greater than their schemes. Their words may swirl around you, but they cannot uproot what is divinely anchored. Your power lies in staying tethered to the real, to the unchanging truth of your identity and purpose. They might try to hurl their accusations, twist the narrative, or sow seeds of doubt, but these attempts are born of desperation. Their energy is scattered, grasping at anything to destabilize you, but they cannot confront the truth directly. Why? Because the truth terrifies them. It's not just about what you've done or where you've been. It's about who you are and the light you carry. That light exposes what they wish to keep hidden, and it challenges the lies they've built their world upon. You see, the words they throw at you are nothing more than shadows trying to cover a flame. But shadows can't extinguish fire. They only reveal its brilliance. Every attempt to diminish you only serves as proof of your resilience. Each accusation is like a wave crashing against a cliff. It makes noise, but the rock remains unbroken. The more they try, the more evident your strength becomes, because your foundation isn't built on their opinions or approval. It's built on the truth, on the work you've done to stand tall, and on the purpose that fuels your every step. Their desperation shows in their tactics. They attack not because you are weak, but because they see your power and don't know how to handle it. They don't understand the source of your strength, so they try to tear it down. But here's the truth they can't grasp. Your strength isn't something they can touch, because it's not external. It's internal, forged in the fires of your trials, shaped by the moments when you refuse to give up, and solidified by your decision to remain true to yourself, no matter the cost. Their words are empty attempts to project their fears onto you. They see your growth, your resilience, and your unshakable spirit, and it unsettles them. They don't understand how you can stand tall when everything around you seems designed to break you. What they fail to realize is that your strength comes from a higher source. You are not just standing on your own. You are supported by something far greater, an unshakable connection to divine truth. Every time they try to define you with their words, remember this: their opinions don't change your essence. A diamond doesn't stop shining because someone calls it a rock. It remains what it is, valuable and unbreakable, regardless of how others perceive it. That's you, shining, enduring, and priceless, no matter what they say. Their accusations don't hold the power to change what God has already declared about you. You've learned that authenticity isn't about proving yourself to others. It's about knowing yourself. It's about standing in the truth of who you are, even when others misunderstand, judge, or try to tear you down. Your authenticity is a force they cannot replicate because it's not something that can be faked or borrowed. It's real, earned through experience, and rooted in a connection to purpose. And that's what makes you untouchable. So stand tall. Be like that tree by the river, unshaken and flourishing no matter what comes your way. Let their words fall away, like leaves in the wind, unable to touch the core of who you are. Keep growing, keep thriving, and keep shining. Because the truth is this: your power is not something they can take or break. It's yours, given by a higher purpose, rooted in truth and destined to flourish. You are not here to conform to their expectations or to shrink in the face of their attacks. You are here to rise, to live fully, and to remind the world that truth always prevails. Seen from a higher perspective, this is not merely a social game. It's a battle on an unseen plane. Such attacks are aimed at silencing the voices that challenge stagnation, at suppressing the very individuals capable of sparking transformation. The intention behind these actions is to make you question your worth, to dim the light that threatens their shadows. But every strike against you is also an acknowledgement of the impact you've already made. What they hoped would silence you becomes a resounding confirmation of your purpose. Like the sun rising to dispel the densest fog, truth cannot be hidden forever. No matter how elaborate their schemes or how carefully they construct their facade, the light of what is real will always break through. For those chosen to walk in purpose and authenticity, this revelation is not accidental, it's divine timing. The forces at work go beyond human understanding, orchestrating a clarity that no manipulation can withstand. Their efforts to obscure are like shadows at dawn, destined to vanish as the brilliance of truth illuminates everything in its path. They thought their web of deception was secure, that their plans would hold fast under scrutiny. But the truth is a force of its own, aligned with the highest purpose, and it works tirelessly to restore balance. As the cracks in their narrative begin to spread, those who once followed their words with unquestioning loyalty start to see the contradictions. The foundation of their influence, built on deceit, begins to crumble under the weight of clarity. What they wove with such care unravels, not through your retaliation, but by the natural order of justice and truth coming into alignment. Their alliances, formed through whispers and manipulation, were never meant to last. Like sandcastles built too close to the tide, these connections dissolve as the waters of discernment rise. Those who were used as tools in their schemes begin to feel the discomfort of misalignment. They sense the falseness of what they've supported and step back, leaving the manipulators exposed. Their downfall is not your doing, and it doesn't require your hand. It is the consequence of their own actions, the inevitable result of sowing deceit into the world. When you stand firm in your truth, you embody a power that cannot be shaken by the schemes of others. You are aligned with something greater, and that alignment serves as both a shield and a weapon. The attacks they launched were never about you. They were about their own fear of what you represent. Your presence alone disrupted the fragile illusion they had worked so hard to maintain. Their need to control the narrative was a response to their recognition of your authenticity, your strength, and your unwavering connection to purpose. This is why their plans falter. The light you carry exposes the flaws in their design. It reveals the inconsistency, the ulterior motives, the desperation behind their actions. While they worked tirelessly to undermine you, they overlooked the truth that light cannot be extinguished by shadows. Their energy focused on your downfall, became their undoing. What was meant to isolate and weaken you has only served to reveal the depths of their own insecurity and the brittleness of their foundation. You, standing in your authenticity, are not merely a participant in this unfolding, but a beacon. Your strength draws others to question, to seek clarity, to challenge the falsehoods they've accepted. This is not just a battle of words or perceptions. It's a shift in energy, a movement toward truth that ripples through every connection. Those who once turned away from you begin to return, drawn by the undeniable light of your resilience and the evidence of your integrity. Their recognition is not something you sought, but something your authenticity naturally commands. The power they tried to take from you was never theirs to claim. It is something forged in the fires of your trials, shaped by every challenge you faced and refined by your unwavering commitment to what is real. They underestimated the strength that comes from walking in alignment with purpose. They mistook your humility for weakness, your patience for passivity, and your authenticity for something they could mimic. But what they failed to grasp is that true power cannot be replicated or borrowed. It must be earned. As their influence fades and their plans unravel, you are left standing as a testament to the unyielding force of truth. This moment is not just about vindication, it's about transformation. What they intended for harm has been turned into an opportunity for growth, not just for you, but for those around you. The light of your resilience has illuminated paths for others, inspiring them to seek their own truth and reject the lies that once held them captive. This is the essence of being chosen, not to seek revenge or dwell on the pain of the past, but to rise above it and use your journey as a guide for others. You are not here to engage in their battles. You are here to transcend them. Their schemes, their words, their actions are now powerless against you, for you have aligned yourself with something far greater. You are walking in purpose, guided by a force that cannot be derailed by human frailty. Now is the time to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. You can contribute to His plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord guide your path. Take this moment to ground yourself in the knowledge of who you are and what you've overcome. Let their actions serve as a reminder of the power you carry, the strength that cannot be taken, and the light that cannot be dimmed. Your story is not just your own. It's a map for others, a testament to the truth that rises above every attempt to suppress it. Speak your truth, live your purpose, and let the ripple of your authenticity transform the spaces you touch. Their schemes have failed, and now the path ahead is yours to claim. You have become a mirror, reflecting not only their fears, but the potential they refuse to embrace. What they intended to diminish has become a catalyst, igniting a change they never anticipated. Their attempts to control perception only amplify your voice, pushing others to question and awaken. What they feared most, your authenticity, has become the force that dissolves their illusions. The strength you've cultivated is unshakable, a testament to the power of embracing who you truly are. What they cannot replicate is not found in tactics or schemes. It is the result of every moment you've endured, every battle you've overcome. You were never meant to fit within the limits they imposed. Each step forward defies the boundaries they sought to place around you, breaking apart their narratives and leaving only truth in its wake. Now is the time to claim your voice, to rise above their noise, and to let your story be the beacon that sparks transformation in others.